back, guys. It's time for a brand new video, and today, as you can tell by the title, is going to be super exciting. We're doing curse builds. I love anything with a dash of chaos. It just makes my soul happy, okay? So today we're going to be taking on Plumbellas Chaos Cursed Build Generator, and there are some doozies in there, okay? I'll pop the link down below as well, so if you guys want to try it out for yourself, the link will be there. You could just hit randomize, and basically it gives you like a theme, like a build style, a color scheme, a budget, and then also a disadvantage. And I kid you not, these disadvantages and the budget, I don't like to build on a budget, but we'll get into that. But the disadvantages, oh, they're cruel. They are so cruel. You'll see for yourself. But yeah, I did not have a fun time with these. So let's get into them. This is going to be the first one right here. Chat had me spin it like so many times, and this is what we ended up with. It's the building style of your house is an English cottage. Fabulous for me. I'm cottagecore till I die. I love that for me. The rest, not so much. Our color scheme will be brown, green, and red. It's screaming Christmas to me. Has to have 2 floors and 4 rooms. Now that's not 4 bedrooms. That's 4 rooms. Like, your bathroom counts as a room, okay? So it gets real tricky real quick. Our budget is 30518 simoleons exactly. It has to house 6 sims, and our disadvantage for this build is we can't use any cheats. And chat decided that meant alt placing. Move objects was out of the question. So literally everything in this build has to go to the snappable spot. The snappable spot! It hurts my heart. It hurts my heart, this one, but let's get into it. Let me know what you think of it, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Okay, so here we go. So this one, like I said, English cottage. It's got to be 2 floors, 4 rooms in total. The plot that I'm building on is originally where the pub is in Hemford-on-Bagley, and it's quite big. Because we're limited to 4 rooms, I literally was like, okay, it has to be open plan. This whole build needs to be open plan, except for maybe well, obviously the bathroom and the bedrooms, but the rest of this house, it's got to be open to everyone and everything. So here we are, just putting the pieces together. I decided that bit where the door is, we're going to make it look like an extension. So it's got slightly different brickwork going on, a slightly different tile, like a bigger, cleaner, more modern version of the same tile, which I thought was quite cute, just to make it look like it'd been adapted over time. And we got this big bay window as well. Was it probably necessary with the very little budget we had? Although this is the biggest budget, spoiler alert, this is the biggest budget we have out of all the builds. The attic, now the attic I've decided to like leave open as like a lofted space, and we're just gonna have it as a bedroom on its own. But here you are, I'm trying to work out the floor plan. Now let's not forget our color scheme is green and red with brown, but basically this is a Christmas color scheme house. So here I am just trying to work out this open floor plan. I was like, the living room can be kind of as soon as you walk in. We've already sectioned off where that bathroom's gonna be. It's in the back corner. But yeah, I have more walls in. It's not cheating, it's technically a loophole because these are still 1 room. I've just put some dividers in there. That's not against the rules, okay? Because if you click on this room, it still shows as 1. So I will not hear anything against it. This is going to be the kitchen here on the other side of that wall from the living room, giving it a little bit of separation, but still cute. To be fair, we probably could have even put a hole in that window, well, hole in the window, hole in the wall there, should I say, to have it kind of connecting with the living room. But honestly, walls are so expensive. Adding spandrels on top of that, I was just like, no, you know what? It's probably not worth it. We got a dining space here. Again, it was for 6 sims, so we had to make sure that we had enough for everyone. Luckily, the wall-placed TV looked mounted on the fireplace without me having to do like placement or move objects or anything, which is quite lucky because I was getting really frustrated, especially in that like bay window area, that I couldn't alt place. I couldn't turn exactly where I wanted those chairs. I was getting so frustrated. Here's the bathroom. The bathroom is very simple. I was not going to spend a huge amount of our budget in this room. I really wanted it to be like a utility room as well, but the washer and dryer is like 1,000 simoleons, and we do not have that to spare. This is going to be the parents' bedroom downstairs. It's a real tiny room, but it gives them a little bit of privacy. And then we got a book nook area too. Little entryway moment. Again, were they probably too pricey for the amount of budget I had? Probably. Did I like them aesthetically? Yes, so I included them in the build. Up here is, like I said, where the 4 kids are going to be, because this room has to be for 6 Sims. It's a lot. And again, trying to stick to that green and red color scheme without making it look like Christmas. We did add a few other colors in there just to make it kind of look cute. I don't know if this is a very bad living situation for these 4 kids up here. I'd like to think it's quite cool. They're like, we have the biggest bedroom kind of vibe compared to their parents. This clutter in the kitchen, using snappable spots only, hurt me so badly, guys. It hurt me so badly. But you know what? I didn't have a big enough budget to do as much clutter as I normally would. So it's probably for the best. Because I think if I had our normal size budget trying to like add clutter to these sides, I would have lost my mind. But you know what? We worked with it. We worked within the confines of the challenge. And it did turn out too badly. It wasn't too bad. Here we are, just adding a little bit more clutter. The little snappable spots on that weren't too bad. We do a nice little trick with the snappable spots right here in the book nook even, where we just move it. We don't alt place move it, but we just move it bit by bit, which luckily just made me so happy. It made me so happy. Adding a little bit of terrain paint, because terrain paint is free, people, and it makes your builds it just elevates them. Put a shadow along that bottom bit, guys. Add some paving, and you know what? I'm not mad at it. Adding in that final column at the back there. A little bit of shrubbery, because that's all we could afford. But I'm not mad at it. Again, nowhere near the amount of landscaping I normally would have used. Could have used debug 100%. Probably would have saved myself only a couple hundred. But you could have used debug for this one. Although, does debug count as a cheat? I don't think it does. But yeah, adding a little flower field next to it. That's the build. This is the first one. It doesn't get better than this, guys, in this challenge. I'm just warning you now. Just take this in, because this is the best it's gonna be, okay? So here we go. We've got the living area here. We added like some plaques on the wall just to make it feel a little bit more lived in. Like maybe it's grandparents that own the house. They've been here for many years kind of thing. I love this bay window moment with the 2 red armchairs. I'm just like, oh, it's so cute. It's so cute, but it flows through. There's a constant flow. We're not in a separate room, but we are just moving areas. So here's the kitchen diner. As you can see, I don't have as much clutter as I normally would. It pains me just as much as you, okay? It pains me just as much. Down here, we have the little book nook area. We have the bathroom and the parents' bedroom all down here. So the parents' bedroom, it literally just has their bed in and a couple lights. I would have liked to have put a window, but I had no more budget. So they have a windowless tiny stone room. Doesn't feel like a dungeon at all, I'm sure. This one, the lighter rooms, is quite large for a bathroom, but like I said, I wanted it to have a utility. I tried my best. Here's the living room from another angle before we move swiftly upstairs. It's a very cute, narrow little staircase, which I think screams English cottage. It's nothing fancy, but they have toys, they have their beds, they actually have windows, which is more than the parents have. And look at that! It's just a cute little area for the kids. I'm not mad at it. This house was a lot, it was difficult, but you know what? It worked, it worked. It's a cute house, it's in budget. We literally ticked everything on that list. It's an English cottage. Our color theme was brown, red, and green. It had 2 floors, 4 rooms, and our budget was 30518 exactly, and it was for 6 Sims. Nailed it! On to the next, shall we? Okay, so that one wasn't too bad, all right? We can all agree that the end result, not half bad. Looks pretty swish, actually, and I can't wait to actually go in there and redo it with like no budget and being able to alt place. I would love that for me. But you know what? With the requirements that we had, it wasn't too shabby. Shall we do a second one? Okay, second curse build. Are we ready? The building style of this house is mid-century modern. I have never built in my life a mid-century modern home. Color themes will be blue, yellow, and brown. Ooh, that's a doozy. It has to have a 1 floor, 7 rooms. Our budget is such a tiny budget. 14213. It houses 6 Sims, and our disadvantage is to prominently use the My First Pet stuff. What is this? What is this? Well, you'll see what I try and do with it. Let's go. Okay, so this is that very awkward roundabout lot in the New World San Sequoia, I want to say. And this was really painful for me to try and build flat and modern and on one floor. One floor, guys, I could build this on. It took a lot of back and forth, but you know what? It turned out okay. It turned out okay. I love the shape we end up for this house. I absolutely love it. I love the idea of this big porch area at the back. Again, I would have liked to have done like a really nice patio section, some nice glass fencing potentially. But spoiler alert, this is a tiny budget. I have 14K, let's call it, to work with. Once we place all the walls, half of our budget is already gone. And that pains me because how am I meant to clutter? There's supposed to be 7 rooms in this as well. It just seems impossible. It just seems impossible. I tried to do mid-century modern with all the wood, but honestly, I started losing the will to live because I was like, everything is so expensive. I was trying to keep the brown wood theme going, but let's not forget our other color scheme we have to add is blue and yellow. And let's also not forget the most pieces of furniture, the prominent pieces of furniture have to be My First Pet stuff. I gave up. I was like, this is awful. I don't wish to be associated with this. Absolutely awful. I did not enjoy. I'm not going to give you a full tour through it because you don't need to see the monstrosities that are inside this house. You briefly saw them. It's bright blue. It's bright yellow. It's a lot of my pet stuff. My First Pet stuff. The build from the outside, love it. Pained me greatly when I came to furnishing it because the interior is something I love to do so much of my builds, and this just pained me. It pained me. Yeah, that turned out as well as I expected. You know what? The actual shape and style of the build, I'm not mad at. I wish, again, I had no budget. So again, maybe we'll revisit all of these builds with unlimited budget and minus the disadvantage so we can fully embrace the style because that's been fun. Like building in different themes and different styles. I've enjoyed that. Would you like a third and final one? We're just not going to talk about the color scheme or anything in that one. Let's do a third one, shall we? Okay, so the build style for this one is Brutalist. I had to have my chat explain what this is, and they provided a whole bunch of reference photos for me because I was a little bit clueless. Okay, I'm cottagecore. I don't know what Brutalist is, but it's a really cool abstract like concrete, lots of clean lines kind of vibe. So it's definitely different for us. I was intrigued. But let's keep reading, shall we? It has to be extremely colorful, which if you know anything about Brutalist, that doesn't make sense. A Brutalist colorful build does not exist, and certainly not with this budget of 20720. That is way too small of a budget. Don't, especially for color. It has to be 2 floors, 6 rooms in total, and it has to house 5 Sims. Our disadvantage for this build, we have to build from the roof down. Plumbella, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Okay, so for this build, we're in San Myscino. We're in one of the ones in the top left, and I had to put some walls down for the different floors so we could build roof down, which is the disadvantage of this challenge, which just makes my brain hurt. But you know what? We saw the challenge and we were like, you know what? We're gonna try our best. We're gonna try our best and see what we can come up with. Like I said, Brutalist is a brand new style for me, but I'm really intrigued by it. And we end up creating, I would say, quite an interesting shape for this build. I would like to call it an interesting shape. It's very blocky, like huge concrete blocks, but I think it's well worth it, in my opinion. But we end up using a lot of concrete, a lot of glass, just trying to place everything together. You can see here, I'm just trying to figure out where things should go. And again, it's such a tiny budget, call it 20,000 simoleons we have to use for this. So the walls and windows take a lot of that. Also, I get a little bit bougie later on with a fountain. You'll see it. You'll say it's worth it. You will. You'll tell me it's worth it. We tried to do like this indoor-outdoor moment with the stairs. my interpretation from what I saw of Brutalist was just a lot of concrete and one with nature where the inside meets the outside, but not in like a heavy nature way. Does that make sense? It probably doesn't, and I'm well aware of that. I apologize. Brand new style for me. So here we are just trying to figure out where the window placements are gonna go. So I wanted it to feel secluded, but also very open, which is very two contradicting statements. Again, I'm very well aware, guys. So here we are with that fountain. I originally used a swimming pool for that area, but it was so much money. The fountain is way cheaper. Great tip for you there. So it's like an indoor-outdoor fountain, just to give it a little bit of water, because again, a lot of these big Brutalist builds I was seeing, it looked beautiful. It looks so good. Now, I'm gonna give you a spoiler on this one. The outside, spectacular. The inside, not so much. If you want a tour of the inside of this one, let me know in the comments, because I'm not gonna show you how we tried to furnish it on stream. All I'm gonna tell you is the interior of this made myself, my chat, my mods, we were all raging so badly. I could do it in another video if you want me to do a tour of it, but it's not great. The outside though, the outside of this, she's pretty classy, she's pretty cute. I'm not mad at her, very concrete. I'm not showing you the horrific interior though, which was brightly colored on a budget, because brightly colored on a budget does not work. That's all I'm gonna say on the map. Our third build. And there we go, guys. I'm not even showing you the interior of that one. It went, so we had no money for furniture really by the end of that build. I was so frustrated with the final two builds you saw there, that mid-century modern and that Brutalist. The cottagecore one, you know, the English little cottage, she turned out quite nice. I'm not mad about her. I believe we could do better. So if you want to see more cursed builds, please let me know in the comments, or let me know if you want to see me redo these builds with no disadvantage and no budget constraints, because I think they could turn out so freaking cute. I think they could be adorable. So let me know in the comments, either more cursed builds or redo these ones that we've done without the constraints. Let me know. But honestly, I had so much fun with chat doing these. It was definitely something different. And I enjoyed just putting myself through pain occasionally. But that is gonna be it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please drop a like, subscribe if you can. I'd appreciate it. But that's all from me. I will see you guys next week, and enjoy the rest of your wonderful day. Goodbye.